Hi students, today we'll be talking about compound sentences and how to use them alongside simple sentences to work towards improving our sentence fluency. Remember in our last video we talked about sentence fluency and we talked about how well our sentences are built, how well they sound when you read them out loud, how well they flow with one another. And in your own writing we'll be thinking about how to use a variety of different sentence types. So today we're going to talk about a compound sentence. Students, these are the terms you will need to know as we are going through the video. Feel free to stop and pause it and take notes on the following terms. Let's think about what a compound sentence is. Well, a compound sentence contains two independent clauses. And when we talked about simple sentences, we talked about an independent clause as having at least one subject and one verb. Now in a compound sentence, we have two independent clauses. And we're going to use something called a coordinating conjunction to help us combine our two independent clauses. A compound sentence pretty much joins two simple sentences together, and it can do it in two different ways. We can do it together with a comma and a coordinating conjunction, or we can combine the two sentences or the two independent clauses by using a semicolon. And students, it's important for you to know what a comma looks like, which I feel all of you do, but sometimes many students confuse a semicolon. Note a semicolon is half of a colon, so it has a dot and kind of a comma on the bottom. Let's talk about coordinating conjunctions. There are different types of coordinating conjunctions, and we can remember them all through the acronym of fanboys. So the F stands for, the A stands for and, the N stands for nor, the B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. And these are our coordinating conjunctions we would use with a comma to combine two independent clauses or two simple sentences. Let's take a look at some examples. So here's a simple sentence, two simple sentences actually. The boy and girls walked to the mall. They bought candy. Now we have two simple sentences, and if we want to combine these two short, choppy sentences into one longer sentence, we can use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. So our sentence would then read, the boy and the girl walked to the mall and they bought candy. In our first independent clause, we have a subject, and a verb. In our second independent clause, we have one subject and one verb. We combine those two independent clauses with a comma and the coordinating conjunction of and. Let's take a look at another example. Miss Miller enjoys music and she wishes she could dance well. Again, we are combining what could possibly be a simple sentence, two simple sentences, if we put a period here instead of a comma and took out and. But instead we're combining two thoughts. So we have the subject of Miss Miller, the verb enjoys. We have a comma, coordinating conjunction. We have a new subject, she, and a new verb, wishes. We put that together to create a compound sentence. Here's another example. Mr. Koya and Miss Roberts enjoy science fiction, but Miss Walker prefers to read historical fiction. We could easily have these as two separate sentences, but instead we chose to combine them with a comma and a coordinating conjunction, and this time the coordinating conjunction is but. In our first independent clause we have one subject, Mr. Koya. We have another subject, Miss Roberts, and one verb, enjoy. So this would be an SSV. And then in our other part of our sentence, we have one subject, Miss Walker, and one verb, prefers. So as you can see in our compound sentences, we can combine the different types of simple sentences that we talked about in our first video. Here's another example. 8th grade students are the oldest students in the middle school, yet sometimes they forget their homework. Again, this could have easily been two separate sentences, but we combine it with a comma and the coordinating conjunction of yet. In the first half of our sentence, we have the subject of 8th grade students, or more specifically, students, and our verb are. And in our second half of our sentence, we have a new subject, they, and the verb forget. It's very important, students, that when you are writing either simple sentences or compound sentences, that each has a subject and at least one subject and at least one verb for each independent clause. Here are two sentences that use a semicolon instead of a comma in a coordinating conjunction. This is another way to combine independent clauses. Our first sentence is, Jessica likes to swim. Tom likes to run. You'll notice these two thoughts or these two sentences go together. It wouldn't make sense to say, Jessica likes to swim, penguins are awesome. When we use a semicolon, each sentence or each independent clause needs to be connected to the other one in thought. Our other sentence is, the dog and the cat chase each other around the house. Semicolon. You'll notice I didn't finish this sentence, but you could easily finish it with another sentence such as, they really don't like each other. So let's quickly review. A compound sentence contains two independent clauses. An independent clause can be joined by a comma and a coordinating conjunction, or by a semicolon. And we went over the different types of coordinating conjunctions by remembering the acronym FANBOYS. Students, I hope you have a better understanding of what a compound sentence is, and we can start using them in our own writing and combining them with simple sentences so that our writing has a variety of sentence types.